All right, so I decided just to do a quick walk around on the 60 rag here. Kind of show you guys where I'm at on it. I'm not completely done with the car. I have some more accessories that I will be putting on. Um, and I need to do a repolish on this thing. Usually that happens. Most of the cars I do always polish them twice because it seems like no matter how slow you go, you seem to miss some things. Um, I don't know. That's why they charge $1,000 a lot of places to polish them. People go, "What? $1,000?" If you want a really nice, beautiful polish job, it's going to cost you that. I mean, really, cut and buff and everything, should because it takes that much time, really. So anyway, we'll take a look at the body here. Remember, the doors actually were in great shape, but we had the quarters um, grafted in. The bottoms of the quarters in the front. Inside here, I don't know if you can see that. Of course, back to the original seam. Um, this side here along the bottom here, the doors, remember the quarters were completely wasted inside and out. Um, the car drives super good. I mean, I have the empty shocks on the front. I ended up getting them super cheap at the show, and they were used. And it actually rides really nice with those, with it being 2.5 inch lowered. Um, this is pretty much how the car sits right here. I drove it in straight, so if you see, it's a half notch in the rear, not a full notch, which is very tricky to do. You're working with the inner and outer splines. You actually pull off your outer spline and go one notch lowered, and then mark it, and then you do where the original was marked. You mark it first, and then you mark it a second time with one notch. And what you do is you take out all the inner splines and you jack it around, and then to the point where it sits right between the two. So that's a half notch. So, and that gives you that not too cambered look, lowered, and won't wear out your tires nearly as quickly as the full notch. When it gives you that nice unraked look. So it just looks a little bit lowered. You don't really notice that it's lowered that much. You just think it looks cool. Something looks cool about it. So anyway, I did this accessory rack. We've got the AAA. I do have some more, like I said, coming. These are actually Harley Davidson custom taillights that I put on there. So I have two sets of running lights on the car. We've got LED turns on it, and it is still 6 volts, except for the tail lights and turn signals are 12 volt. I did blow up my second inverter. Still having a grounding problem on that, or my converter, my 12 volt converter, have a grounding issue. I think on this tail light. Just keeps on grounding, so I've got to really just go through there and re-engineer that whole thing and figure out why that it keeps grounding out. And after as many times as I've had the taillights apart on this thing, and that's how much of a pain those things are to put on and take off, getting a little irritated with that. So I got the 36 horse motor in this thing. It does run really good now, and I've got the fuel problem done. When I first got it done, drove it up the hill or drove it on the freeway, and it was sucking a piece of dirt into the what's it called, the needle and seat for the float. The needle and seat was actually that there's a little small orifice in there, and it sucked a little piece of dirt into that small orifice and was kind of stuck there and regulating the amount of fuel it put out. So when I was on the freeway, it would only do about 55, and then if you floored it for any amount of time or going uphill, it would just start losing fuel, and it would die out, and then you'd let off the gas for about a minute, and then it would start to come back. So it's kind of like a regulator. But the engine's all running good. Ended up putting some new points in it. I was kind of bummed out. The original, I really like those original Bosch uh, condensers. Usually they last a lot longer, and I think it failed while I was sitting here playing with it. The generator quit after a little bit. It ran for a while, and now the regulator actually quit, and the generator brushes kind of got tarnished. So I went ahead and took it apart. Chris took it apart, and he just cleaned up all the armature and everything. Now it really works good on 6 volts. So it took me a while to get the plate on it. It took a while. That's why I wasn't driving it. The funny thing is the glass is all a little bit scratched, and we had another set of glass for it, and I decided to run this glass, and I'm going to tell you why. We ran this glass because even though it's scratched, it was the original glass for the car, and we figured out the reason it was scratched is because they were using an ice scraper on it. So I thought that was cool. I thought, man, I definitely want to keep that glass because I want to be reminded that the car was from back east, and it survived. So there's a lot of people want, I want it to look perfect. To me, it's rather, some of the times I'd rather have it not so perfect because it tells a story. So I got some of these things here. I've got more of them coming, but I thought I'd just share this with you guys. Not many people do this kind of thing. A lot of these are original German nostalgia, so I kind of wanted it to, a lot of people back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, they put these in their grills in their German cars, and like Mercedes and BMW a lot would put them in the front grill, and you used to see a lot of Mercedes, especially with the big grills in the front. They'd have a whole bunch of these things in the front, and so it's kind of a tradition that I wanted to incorporate into Volkswagen. So I'll tell you what some of these are. This is a Austrian, I don't know if it's racing or car club or automobile club. I think it's automobile club, but it might. And then there's the one this one here is, I think, for the automobile club racing, but it's the same thing, Austrian. So this one and this one are both Austrian. This one is actually original German, 61, 62. And it's for, I forget what the racing thing was. I looked up on that. Because the original German auto club was ADAC, and then you just got the Deutschland, which is aftermarket, and this one is another aftermarket one with all the German cities and crests on it. But I do have some others coming that are really cool. Some other Volkswagen nostalgia ones that I'm going to be putting on here that I'm not going to say whether they're original or aftermarket. I'm just going to let people figure that one out. So, and they can be really expensive. So we got original hubcaps, original bumpers. They've just been straightened. There's no, they're kind of beat up and straightened. We've got the original running boards on this thing. These are original running boards. I bought new mats for them, and I just decided at the last minute to grab some new trim pieces. These are original. Though you guys are new to the channel, these are original. These are not reproduction. These are original, not reproduction. You see how shiny they are? The aftermarket ones do not look like that. And if you notice the original ones, the rubber fits really good. So, if you're wondering why maybe your corners aren't fitting really good, it's because the original ones were just a little bit thicker and they're shaped correctly. So, the trim on the sides, I went with the original because I wanted the color of the aluminum instead of the. But if you get the aftermarket aluminum ones, they really kind of look gross. They don't look like these do, and they're a little bit thicker. The original ones are, so I kind of wanted that. I had them, so if I didn't have them, I might have went the other way. But I had a bunch of extra original ones. This is all original, of course, nice and crazed. People go, "Oh, I want a perfect one." I go, "No, I want a crazed one." So, original. These, I'm not gonna say, but they very nice. So, I've got. The cool thing is I was able to save the original wiper blades, replaced them. I have a video on that. Put the rubber in. Of course, got the VW Emblem from Wolfsburg West with a 4-tab hood. It's not really a 4-tab. Oh my God! I reworked the hood to make it into a 4-tab because most of the 4-tabs are shot so badly that it's not worth fixing them. And I had this hood, and I wasn't going to just get another one just because it wasn't correct. So, if you see here the Emblem, this is a 57 or earlier. Some people said 58 and earlier, but I think it's 57 and earlier because I had a 58 bug original hood, and the 58 bug had the black and red one. So anyway, I've got these things, the brackets, which people call them original, but no brackets were original. These were actually dealer add-on, so same thing with the radio. There's no such thing as an original radio. Unless you have a block plug maybe in those. You're not going to find one of those. So I've got the Sapphire radio. I think it is Sapphire. Let's see. Yep. The Sapphire radio dealer ad. In here, I got a original glove box that's patinaed out just like the rest of the car. I found one that was perfectly good shape. Kept this in here. That has not moved. I didn't even take it off because I didn't want it to get lost, because I just thought that is cool. I mean, somebody put that on there how many years ago, I don't know, and just let it rot there, man. I don't want it to break. Try and take it off. I just left it on the mirror. And then the steering wheel. Now, this is like my uncle used to have on his bug when we were kids. And I don't even know if you can buy these anymore. Maybe you can, but I'd be surprised if they have it, because all the new steering wheels are different sizes. So went back years ago, all of them were like, I think, about the same size. And you could buy these kits like this, and you just put this wrap on there, and then you just wrap these cord around it and then put it on your steering wheel. So this steering wheel is 65 or 66, I think. I think a lot of these parts came off of 66, like the Speedo came off of 66. At some point when the car got in a wreck or whatever, they replaced the steering wheel because it was it was probably messed up. They replaced they had just repaired the turn signal switch, so I had to repair it again. Of course, video on that. I added this is actually a cell phone charger, and it does work. It's running completely on 6 volts. I did get this on eBay. I did get this on eBay, if you're looking at that. And even though it says 12 volt, it does work on 6. And it works great. Charges my phone just fine. Even though, because remember, the USB ports are 5 volts. So when it runs on 6, it seems to convert it to 5 volts just fine, and works well. Some of the accessories I got here too are this thing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these. This is a reserve switch extension, okay? And other than this bracket, we had to make this because it was missing. This is actually I think it's a VW aftermarket part that you could buy at the dealer. So it's kind of cool. Maybe you've never seen one. It's kind of nice. I wanted it on here because I probably will run this out of gas once, and kicking that thing with my foot on the freeway in California traffic or Arizona traffic would be pretty much a nightmare if I missed and didn't get it to restart and had to stop in the middle of the freeway. That would not be fun. So I wanted the reserve extension. I got the aftermarket pedal covers, original gas pedal cover, not aftermarket, it's original. So I'm still gonna put the floor mats in, haven't done that yet. I have the original floor mats for the car and they're in good shape. And things like even the dome lights working. And then it works this way, 6 volt. So the ragtop handle, check that one out, man. When's the last time you saw an early ragtop handle that looked that perfect? I mean, there's no blemishes in that thing, man. That thing is like brand new, but it's original. And so that's kind of cool. In the door handles, same way. The door panels had never been off this car, even though it was super rusty. So I'm going to show you guys the rails. This is kind of cool. I should have slipped this back while I was in there. It gets a little bit stuck because it's probably hasn't been open that much. But look at the rails on this thing. Those are super clean. You just don't see them like that. Top's almost never been opened on this car, but it definitely will be open now. So I get to be the first one to use it. So I have these two, the threshold covers. You guys know how expensive those are. NOS. What else I have on this car? I got the seats redone, obviously, at did these at Garza's upholstery. He does a great job. He's now in Azusa. So if you're looking for upholstery, Azusa, Garza's does a fantastic job, and he's very reasonable. Just make sure you don't pick him apart. Don't go in there and start picking my guy apart, man. That'll make me mad, because just when you get done, you pick up your seats, you pay him, and then you look at him, and whatever you get, you get. Don't be sitting there, hey, what about this? He does a great job. Just leave it alone, and don't expect to get more than what you're paying for. So still have the original door panels and handle over there. I had to make these guys. So then the back is my upholstery supply place. I get those from, and then the front is actually TMI. All this, the kit was on sale, so I thought, well, I'll just put that in with the loop carpet, because if you do a loop carpet, you want to have the kit, because it already has the edge on it, unless you're going to sew the edge on, and you don't have the patterns. It's really hard to do a loop carpet without the kit. It's a lot easier. So if you're going to do loop carpet, usually I do cut pile, salt and pepper cut pile. Let's take a look under the hood. And then may not get everything in the video here, because there's stuff that you just can't get. So I got a bias ply spare. Always try and look for those. Original jack. This should actually be painted blue. You purist people. No, I'm not a purist, but it's fun when you can do it. You know, that's the way to do it right, guys. When you can do it pure stuff, that's neat. But if you don't get all bent out of shape and have to have it that way. That's no fun. So we've got our converter boards up there. If you see this one burned up again, those cheap ones, they always burn up. This one here's a better one. And to run 12 volts on stuff. If you see the original radio wiring, it actually has the paper behind here. It actually has the cover for this one and the paper behind it, both. That says what the fuses are in German. All the original keepers for the gas tank. A lot of those I don't like the aftermarket ones. They don't look right. But you know, like if that's all I could get, I'd just run them. But eventually, I would try and find the original. Apron's never been off the car, but behind the apron was replaced. And I'll show you how that looks. Actually, I don't know if I've got that in this video. But that bottom piece was completely shot. So, and then we had accident damage in the front. And there's not much sign of that. I don't think I even used any Bondo on it, hardly. Not much. There's probably some. I don't use Bondo anyway. It's always something way better than that product. So anyway, that's pretty much the car. Underneath, of course, is like brand new. Yeah, it's going. It's running. It's got brake lights right now. I don't have tail lights, so hood shut's good. Yeah, it's a nice looking ride now. Yeah, I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with all these cars. I got so many of them. Maintaining them is a pain. So, but they're fun. They're really fun. I've been driving them. Try and drive one every other day or so. Just drive around a little bit, and we'll do some more videos driving stuff. I just haven't done any lately because I just haven't had time to set the cameras up and all that. So, yeah. So anyway, the whole car is really. Oh, one of the things is if you guys are doing, unfortunately I didn't get a video of it. I have a late model steering box in this. I drove it with the old steering box in it. It was just crap. What we did is actually cut the pitman arm in half and tapered it down, you know, so that they were to a point, and then welded it up 100% strong. And got a late model box and cut it, and put the pitman arm from the early one on the late model steering box, so it has a more attainable steering box, where the early ones were hard to find and usually pretty trashed out and a lot of money. So if you guys are not wanting, if you have bad steering box in your early car, that's a good option you might want to check into. Unfortunately, I didn't have a video of it. I wasn't able to. I was out of town when that was going on. So anyway, just a couple things I want to throw out there that you guys might have problems with. So anyway, all right, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is the 60 bug back on the road, and you know, it didn't make it to the junkyard. Well, it made it to the junkyard once, and it got pulled out, and then sent to Arizona. And then the guy in Arizona, thanks to what's his name? He has a scooter business in Arizona. If you ever want to look him up, if you ever do like Vespa scooters, he does restorations. Does a completely badass job. I mean, he's amazing at restoring them, and he saves VWs when he can, you know, as a hobby. And so he has a hookup in back east somewhere. Whenever they get early cars with holes in the roof, ragtop, you know, sunroof, he makes sure that they get saved. So it's kind of cool, and that's where I got the car from. And he's got another one right now, a 66. It's on the Samba, and I think he wants $1,800 for a 66 sunroof car that is absolutely original and just amazing. It's a really cool car, but it is super rusty. All the heater channels and pan halves need to be done, but it may not be there anymore. I don't know, but I couldn't take on another car. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.